Hi everyone, my name is Jenna and welcome to my channel Divine Direction. In this video we are going to be looking at the messages for the sign of Cancer. Now Cancer, I already did your reading, but my guides made me bawl like crazy and I didn't want to put you through that. So this is the message that I have for you, Cancer. Now some of you may have been we're talking a little bit about your past and only briefly, but some of you may have experienced a lot of negative circumstances in your past. A lot of us have. To me, this is either like people being very critical of you or you feeling that you didn't fit in. Okay. Some of you may have had anxiety, social anxiety, depression, some of you also may feel that you are weak or really feel like a failure in your life because of these circumstances. And my guides are here to tell you, no, honey, no. Okay, you have the Tower card, but to me, in this deck especially, I feel that everything that happens, it happens for a reason. Not necessarily your experiences, but everything that happens kind of works itself out perfectly. So, okay, yes. Okay, so when the Tower crumbles, it's like taking out what no longer serves us and then clearing that to have a strong foundation to build upon again. Hopefully this makes sense. With the Page of Wands, it's like we're going into a new direction. Now, they're telling me this because some of you are too focused on the past and focused on the negative aspect of what has happened. And yes, we wish that those things never happened to us. Absolutely. I'm not belittling those in any way, shape, or form. But what they're saying is you need to start looking at yourself in a different way, because I feel that what you focus on is either that you failed or that you should have handled it a different way. My guides are telling me, because they keep showing me the word weak and weakness, okay? Those words keep popping up. Now, the part of your other reading that made me cry was my guides said that there's a lot of strength from going through situations like that and coming out the other side, let alone going through all of those situations, coming out the other side and still remaining someone who is loving, who is caring, who is compassionate, who is empathetic, okay? That's why I cried, because I couldn't even communicate to you what they were sending to me because it was more of a feeling. Don't make me cry again, okay? You have the Oyster card. So oysters under pressure, or they, you know, with the pressure, they make pearls, okay? So these circumstances shaped you in a way, and that's what we want to focus on, is that, but they also want you to focus on the strength that it took you, Cancer, to remain that loving being. Because a lot of times people can go through negative circumstances in their youth, in their childhood, in the beginning stages of their lives, and decide to be people who are judgmental, who criticize others, who beat other people down, because that's what happened to them. Mm-hmm. So an example that they're giving me is maybe somebody being abused, right? So oftentimes, you know, somebody could be abused as a child and grow up to be an abuser, but there's also those children who grow up and say, I don't want that for my life. I don't want to be that type of person. I don't want to be that type of parent. And they grow through it, still loving and kind and considerate and wonderful people, okay? And not to throw any shade to anybody else, but you don't realize, Cancer, the amount of strength that you have within you to be able to go through those negative circumstances and still be a loving being. Like, I just feel like I'm repeating myself, but you just don't understand. And I have to be honest, I didn't understand either, because that's how I view myself as, I try not to view my past as failures or to view me as being weak anymore. But it's not easy, and it's hard for us to see ourselves in that way and to see maybe our sensitivity or our compassion or empathy as being anything super positive, because in this world often we value people having tough exteriors and maybe not showing emotion while going through difficult times, right? It's like, oh, that person's strong. No. Are they? Are they strong? Maybe they are, maybe they're not. The way that we define strength needs to change. Because they're saying, Cancer, you are the definition of strength. If you are resonating with this message, okay? So, what happened in our past was not a failure. It does not mean that we are weak. And we are now embarking on a new journey where we are going to finally start seeing ourselves a bit in a new light, okay? My guides want me to tell you a story about my empathy. So I feel that going through my depression really helped me develop my empathy. And I never saw myself or my sensitivity or my compassion as being a strength. Because, again, we're kind of taught that it's not. It's a weakness, right? Anyways, last year I ended up doing a reading for this gentleman. I never met him before. He lives in a completely different country. And when I started to tap into his energy, all of a sudden I had this excruciating pain in my back. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. No idea what this is. So I wrote it down. And I sent him the reading and I put that in the notes, and he's like, I had a car accident years ago and I feel that excruciating lower back pain all the time. And that moment really changed how I view my empathy and my sensitivity, right? Because how the hell can I feel physical pain for another person that I never met who lives in a completely different country? Okay? How? But there is power in that. There is power in compassion. There is power in sensitivity. There is true power there. Okay? Now, you have the Elk card on the bottom of the deck, and my guides want me to tell this story. Years ago, I moved to Alberta for a little bit, and I was working down there. And when I was doing my training for my job, they really warned us about the animals that are around. So I was in Lake Louise, but I also went around Banff. So there's a lot of wild animals, and there's bears out there. But my trainer said, you really need to be careful of elk. They're the most dangerous animals out here. And I'm like, but there's bears. Like, literally, there are bears. You could go for a walk and see a bear. No. Elk. Okay? And it had to do with their antlers and their great strength. I can't remember everything, but that moment always stuck with me. Like, I never would have thought that an elk would be like the most dangerous animal that they're saying that I could run into. Okay? Because of their strength. Bears are strong too, but for some reason it was elk. Okay. But the point is, my guides are saying, when I think of elk and I think of deer, I just think of very beautiful, peaceful, graceful creatures, right? When you see a deer and you're just like, oh, it just feels so serene and they're so beautiful. Okay? They're saying, like, your strength, okay, it's not belittled by anything, how you look, how you act. your strength is always there, right? So just like the elk, you are a very strong, powerful creature. You're just looking at it in a different way, Cancer, okay? I hope I communicated that correctly, but that's just how it's coming in, okay? And my guides say, you have the High Honor card. They're saying, sweetie, your compassion, sensitivity, all of this, the things that you are viewing as being weak, that make you weak, are high honors and celebrated up where we are. Okay? In the spiritual realm, that sort of thing means a lot to them. Down here, maybe not as much. Okay? It's starting to. They're saying it's starting to, right? Now, my guides want to talk about power. Your power, okay? There is true power in you letting go of that negative belief about yourself, or those negative beliefs about yourself, okay? So my guides really strongly encourage you to look at those situations that you are seeing as being failures, or those situations that have made you feel that you are weak, or anything of that nature. And try to look at them in a different way, okay? You can ask your angels and guides to help you through that, because I ask my angels and guides to help me see myself in a new light, okay? And my guides always laugh at that, because they're like, Jenny, you're so cute, asking us and Archangel Chamuel to say, hey, can you show me myself through your eyes? Because they're like, you'll never see that. Like, literally, your human minds could not experience that. So they always laugh at me for that. But they have helped me to see myself in a new light, which is probably a better way to communicate that to them. You could say, angels and guides, can you please help me see this situation in a more positive light? Or angels and guides, can you please help me see myself in a more positive light? And they are happy to accommodate you, honey, they're saying, okay? But there is a true power in you being yourself. So again, in your past, I do get the vibes of you felt like you didn't fit in, or you felt that you weren't good enough because of who you are. You probably felt that you had to hide aspects of yourself. I think a lot of us did, right? With the Ace of Wands, I really feel that this has to do with different aspects of yourself. It's like she's discovering aspects of herself or rediscovering them. There's a lot of, like, to me, I'm getting vibes of hobbies and that sort of thing. There's writing or reading, there's painting. So are there things that you had interest in that maybe you're afraid to explore because you're afraid of how people would react if they would criticize you for it? Or are there things that you've always wanted to do or explore, but you thought that you couldn't because you've viewed yourself in a negative way, right? Like, oh, I could never do that. Like when I was younger, I would always say, oh, I could never do science. Well, why not? Why not? Or I told myself I could never do tarot, but here I am. Here I am, right? So I finally decided, you know what? This is something that I want to do, and I bought a deck and I took a class, and it took me a while to fully get into it, but I did it. Okay, right now I'm learning cross stitching because it's something that I've always wanted to do, and I've always wanted to cross stitch Christmas stockings. For some reason, that's what I'm drawn to, okay? And this is what they're saying. If there's things that you've always wanted to do but didn't believe that you could do it, or you were too afraid to experience them because of criticism, okay, we reclaim our power in many different ways, but by being yourself and exploring things that you enjoy, that's another way. That's another way of reclaiming your power. There is true power in being yourself, okay? So some of you, this might have to do with singing, feeling that you've You've always wanted to be a singer, but you never thought that you could sing, okay? It's called vocal lessons, my guides are saying. Sorry for the sass, but I remember watching this portion of The Voice. My mom always has it on when it's on. And Ed Sheeran was on there, and he was showing some of the singers a video of himself when he was 13 singing, and he was god-awful. Like, god-awful. And he said he had to practice to get to where he is today, right? So do not judge yourself and your abilities on where you are right now or where you were when you tried them or anything of that nature, right? So let's stop judging ourselves completely, but easier said than done, my guides are saying. Let's start trying out new things. Let's start finding what we're good at. Let's start finding what we enjoy doing. And when we do that, okay, yeah. That's when we start to build confidence. There we go. Okay. So my guides are saying that a lot of you would benefit from building up your confidence, especially if you were seeing yourself in a negative light, okay? How I've worked on building up my confidence, for me, it was doing things that I've always wanted to do, but never thought that I could do it. So the first things that I started to do was working out and starting to eat healthy, because I always wanted to lose weight before, and I just, I would lose weight, but then I'd gain it back, and I just thought that I couldn't do that. And it's been a couple of years that I've kept the weight off, all right? So that helped me build up my confidence. Deciding that I was going to do tarot and then working through it, I started doing it and I thought I was terrible. So I kind of put it on the shelf and then I brought it out. My guides are like, if I just kept practicing, I would have got better. This is all about taking the time to practice, okay? And now I have more confidence in myself. Do I need to develop more confidence in doing, say, personal readings? Yeah, that's what I really need to build my confidence in. But me doing my YouTube videos is helping me gain confidence so that I can, start charging again for my personal readings, okay? I've received money for some of them, but before I was just like, oh, what if it sucks? So people would offer me money and I'm like, no, just take it for free in case it really sucks, okay? Yeah, my guides are like, yeah. I totally understand, Cancer. I totally understand how you've been feeling or how you were feeling, okay? You have the change card, and my guides are saying your life changes, Cancer, when you start believing in yourself and when you take the steps to look at yourself in a different way, okay? For some reason, they're saying what you want to do isn't stupid. So somebody might have said that to you. Someone may have made you feel that a career that you wanted to go into was stupid, or it was stupid that you wanted to do it, or an activity that you wanted to try was stupid. I don't know why they would say that, but somebody needs to hear that. It's not stupid. If this is something that you are really interested in, something that you want to do, it's not stupid. With the Distant Horizons card, to me, it's breaking away from that, the anchor, the things that are holding us down. And they're saying, in your case, in this reading, what's holding you down or holding you back is your belief about yourself. And these beliefs could be caused by other people. Unfortunately, that happens, right? You could be really, really smart and people start telling you you're stupid and just like constantly at you about that, and you're eventually going to believe that you're stupid, right? It's just, unfortunately, that's the way that it is, right? So we reclaim our power when we start building up our own confidence and believing in ourselves more. So then if somebody tells us that things that we like are stupid, or tells us that we're weak for what we do, then it's just going to be like, you know what, you're rude, but whatever, okay? Yeah. Okay, so this is the last thing that I'm going to say. You have the gift card. The gift card is you. Like, you are the gift. The things that you are viewing as negative aspects are a gift. Again, your empathy, your sympathy, your compassion, your love, your view of the world in a positive light. You need to start seeing yourself in a positive way. They're like, we don't want to make Jenna cry again. We don't want to make her cry again. But that strength that you have within you for getting through all of the crap that you've been through. Please know, Cancer, that takes a lot of strength. Okay? We're very proud of you, they're saying. We love you all. And we cannot wait for you to start to see yourself in a new light, because that's really going to be the beginning of an epic change, they're saying, for you. Okay, Cancer, I love this reading for you. Please let me know if it resonates. And thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I see you in the next video. Bye.